Austin, Texas cannot support any more people moving to it from California, New York, whatever city it is. Just Austin is not, the infrastructure is not there. There's 1,000 people moving to Texas a day, and almost 200 of them are moving to Austin. That is fucking crazy. Austin's not ready to support all these people, especially from California or New York. Now, before you label me a crazy Mexican Trumper, I'm not. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump. And I don't even like the guy. I'd probably hang out with him if he asked me to, but I don't really like him. So before you classify me as some crazy Texan that doesn't want you to California, my Texas, I'm not. We just enjoy certain freedoms in Texas, and there's a certain aura about this state that we love and we enjoy that you don't have. You just don't have those morals or those ethics that we have in the great state of Texas. Like, you're bringing all this woke ideology, and there's nothing wrong with being like the good woke. There's a bad woke. Can we all agree there's a good woke and there's a bad woke? Okay. Now bring the good stuff. The good stuff is great. Equal opportunity, treating people fair, all that good shit. But the other crazy stuff, we don't want any of that. I think New York and California have meatless school days for school districts. I think New York has something called meatless Mondays, and California, I'm pretty sure they just approved $100 million for implementing vegan friendly meals. That is crazy. We have a barbecue, we're in Texas. We have a barbecue joint at every corner. Our best gas station that we have in the state, Buc-ee's, which if you haven't been to Buc-ee's, you need to go to Buc-ee's. You have to visit a Buc-ee's. But they serve barbecue. Okay? Don't bring meatless school day. Don't even move here and conjure up that, oh, you know what? We need to eat vegetarian meals because we need to save the animals and save the planet. You think everyone moving from California or New York or wherever, those big high-rise cities, they claim to be the climate activists and they care about animals and everything, but they're moving to the cities that are literally damaging the land that they're moving to. They're digging up all the ground, they're killing all these little animals, and then the entire project will stop if they encounter some type of lizard or there's a fish. They'll stop while they're doing it, but they don't think of how they're impacting the deer, the rabbits, everything that's part of the ecosystem that they're digging up. They don't give a shit about that. But oh, holy crap, we're going to stop the entire project because of a lizard. You kidding me? You don't care about the climate. You don't care about animals. You only care about it if it's going to benefit you. If you're going to look better and you get to hold up a sign or you get to tweet about it, then you care about it. But if it's out of sight, then it's out of mind. And it's oh, well, I didn't have any kind of impact on it. It doesn't bother me. I don't understand. I don't understand why, I think California is implementing some type of woke math. Or is it New York? I don't remember. They're both the same. I don't understand. Math is not inclusive enough. So they're going to implement some type of inclusive math. How is math not inclusive? It's numbers. You're either good at it or you're not. It's not racist. Math is not racist. It's if you put in effort, you can do it. But if not, then you're just not. Not everyone's made to be a mathematician, Some people are good artists. Some people can paint. Some people can sing. Not everyone is going to be good at math. And just because a colored person is not good at math doesn't mean the education system or mathematics is racist. That's not it. So don't bring any of that bullshit to Texas. We don't care about any of that shit. We don't care if you're gay or you're transsexual. Do you, boo? Do it. We don't care. Just don't bring that crazy shit with you. You know what I mean? You move here, right? And then you're you know what? You know what Austin needs? Austin needs another Starbucks or an In-N-Out burger. You kidding me? Texas has Whataburger. It's not, I know, look, you think it's Whataburger, and I say that all the time too, but it's actually What a Burger, because it's like, holy shit, it's so good. That's what that means. Whataburger is so damn good. And if you move here and you tell me that In-N-Out Burger is better than Whataburger, I'll kick you in your throat, because it's not. There's not even a competition. Whataburger will slay In-N-Out. If we could put Whataburger, if we could put a juicy Whataburger and a freaking juicy In-N-Out Burger in a ring and let them fight, Whataburger will kick its ass every time. Just 100% obliterate In-N-Out Burger. You don't even know what you're eating at In-N-Out. It tastes like just cardboard. So look, Whataburger will kick its ass every time, but if you're in Austin, have you heard of Mighty Fine Burgers? Have you? You need to experience Mighty Fine if you haven't. It's like the Buc-ee's of burger joints, because they literally hand form the patties right in front of your face. You go walk in, everything's clean. You can eat off the floor if you want to. Everything's clean, and then you order your food and you watch them make it. Everyone's making something. There's like 40 people. There's always someone in the bathroom, like at Buc-ee's too. They're cleaning up right after you. You go in there, you take a big shit. Someone's coming in right behind you. They're gonna clean it up, spray some smell good in there, and everything's gonna be fine. You're gonna look like you just are not gonna go wrong at a Mighty Fine. There's stages to our burgers. Okay, so there's What a Burger, which is pretty damn good. Then there's Mighty Fine Burgers. Mighty Fine Burgers, fries, and shakes. You need to try their shakes because it's spectacular. Their fries are fresh cut fry. What do you get fresh at In-N-Out? Nothing. You get nothing. You'll take a fresh shit right after you leave because that food is disgusting. It's not even food. It's like grade D dog meat. You can't even put Mighty Fine or Whataburger in the same category as In-N-Out Burger. So don't bring your food. You have no food in California. Don't bring that shit to Texas. We have great food in Texas. We have all this good Mexican food. Our Italian kind of sucks, but we got great barbecue. It's just superb. Every corner has a barbecue joint. Don't come to Texas and bring your nasty ass food, your meatless Mondays. We don't want any of it. We don't want none of that shit. I don't even think you really want to live in Texas. We can't even support our own power grid. You really want to live in a state that cannot support their own power grid? That should be a ding ding in your head right then and there. Holy shit, Texas is the leading producer of oil and energy, but they cannot supply their own power. You shouldn't want to live here. That should be the key indication that Texas can't support more people. Joe Rogan's not going to invite you on his podcast. Jamie's not going to play golf with you. Tom Segura's not going to invite you in the cave. Elon Musk is not going to give you a Tesla. You can't just come here and think that everyone's going to be your friend, because they're not. I always hear this. I always hear California people say, or New York people say, people in Texas are just more friendly. They're just, they live in Austin. They're like, oh my God, everyone in California, man, is just so rude. But here in Austin, they're so nice, which is crazy to me, because people in Austin aren't even originally from Texas anymore. Try to find one. Everyone that was originally living in Austin is getting priced out, and they're having to move to the outskirts and then drive into work. They don't even live in Austin anymore. You're bringing all your friends from California, and you're making California the metropolitan of Austin. You're making it kind of like California. There's no one from Austin, Texas, unless they're like the rich people living on Lady Bird Lake or something like that. Those people are still living in Austin, but there's not anyone who's actually from Texas living in Austin anymore, because they think it sucks. Because all these people moving into the city are turning into the cities that they left. And they want to talk about, oh my God, that Austin, Texas has the beautiful lakes and the beautiful trails. You can't even take your dogs and enjoy the water. Lady Bird Lake, because there's deadly fungus in there, deadly bacteria that will kill your dog. That's because there's too many people living in Austin. Everyone's taking shits. Everyone's throwing. There's thousands of those electric scooters in Lady Bird Lake right now. all the lakes around there. So they're bringing all these electric scooters and, oh man, we care about the environment, but we're going to throw the scooter in the damn lake. It doesn't make any fucking sense. We used to be able to swim in Lady Bird Lake and not have to worry about dying. Don't tell me like, oh, it's only bad for the dog. If it's bad for the dogs, it's bad for you, right? Can we all agree? Like, okay, like as long as humans don't drink the water, they're not going to die. That's fucking crazy. You're getting in the same water as something that just died. Every year, dogs die because there's too many people living in Austin, Texas, and they're contaminating the water. Speaking of water, Austin, Texas has put a boil water notice, I think, at least twice for the last 2 years in a row now. Even if it's not twice, I think it's once, but it might be twice. For sure once, maybe twice. The last 2 years, Austin, Texas has had to boil everyone that's affected over 1 million people in Austin, Texas. They've had to put on boil water notice because the water plants in Austin are a joke. They haven't invested any capital in them over the last few decades, and now the equipment's so old and run down, and they can't keep up with all these new people moving in. That's like the east side of Austin. Well, we're not going to worry about the east side. We'll let all the minorities that live on the east side just shoot up, rob themselves to death. We're going to spend all of our money on the west side and not worry about the east side. That makes no sense. That is a fact. Drive over to the east side. If you like I-35, the west side of I-35 is fantastic. We got these beautiful high-rise buildings, everything like in the Texas freeze. There was pictures going around. Everything was lit up on the west side of 35, right? You remember the freeze? If you were here, everything was lit up on the west side of I-35. Meanwhile, everyone that lived on the east side of I-35, they were in the dark. So you're bringing like, oh, we claim like we're equal opportunity and we care about all ethnicities and races, but when it comes down to it, the west side needs the lights and the east side doesn't. And that's the plain truth. Why is there such a stark contrast between the west side and the east side of Austin? I'm waiting for a good answer. I don't know why. I can't think of a good reason. The city of Austin, they act like they care. And when it comes down to campaigning and when it comes down to raising money for re-election, they'll talk a good game, but they only care about the folks that are moving towards the west side of I-35. And that's all the people from California. That's all the people from New York. That's all the people from the fancy states bringing their fancy stuff in and then forcing the actual Texans, the original people from Austin out. No one lives there. Everyone's moving to Burnet. Everyone's moving to Fredericksburg. Everyone's moving to freaking Blanco and Johnson City and all the surrounding areas. Not Austin. I'm not sure if you want to live in Texas. If you're from California and you're thinking about coming to Austin, I don't think you want to do it because here's like the top, 4 or 5 reasons why you don't want to live in Austin, Texas. Everyone is carrying a gun. Texas doesn't require a license to carry a gun anymore. You don't even have to have formal training. You can just carry a gun. Everyone's carrying a gun. And then Texas, like, we're going to force you to have your babies, okay? You cannot no longer getting abortion in the state of Texas. Fun note, Texas has one of the highest rates of teacher-student inappropriate relationships, okay? In our schools, Texas is leading the way. We're the champions on that, okay? So not only will we force you to have an abortion, but we will send your kids to school where they will get molested by our teachers. I don't think you want to live with that. I don't think you want to come to Austin or come to Texas and live with these crazy ass statistics that we have going on. Go to some other state. Go to New Mexico. Go to Arizona. We're also banning books. The state of Texas is we're on a charge to ban books that are sexually explicit in nature and are geared towards the LGBTQ community. So there's some books in Texas that discuss sex scenes, maybe kids going through a transition period in their time, their early years of life. And Texas is on a crusade to ban those books, which is kind of insane to me because the kids don't even read books these days. There's not very many kids reading books, and they're mostly on social media. They're mostly playing on TikTok. They're not in libraries reading books. I don't even know. Like, it took a very investigative parent to get notice of these damn books. And that's what we're doing in Texas. So we're forcing you to have babies. We all carry guns. Our teachers molest kids on a regular basis, and we're banning books. I don't think these 4 things should make it enough to where you don't want to live in Texas. And to top it all off, we have a failed energy grid. Like, every time it gets hot, we get these emails blasted out from our energy companies saying to conserve energy during these time periods because we don't want our energy grid to fail. That is crazy. Like, why would you want to move here? Texas sucks. You shouldn't even want to be here. Texas is awful. It's the worst state to live in. I heard New Mexico was pretty good. Not a bad state to live in. Colorado, excellent weather. You actually get 4 seasons in Colorado. Texas, you get 2. You get really fucking hot and scorching hot. That's it. And sometimes it rains depending on where you're at. If you live on the Gulf Coast, it's going to rain just about every day. But if you live in Austin, it'll rain sometimes. But other than that, it's going to be dry, hot, and the allergies are freaking insane. Have you heard of cedar allergies? It'll knock you on your ass. You would not want to live in Austin, Texas. Now, surrounding areas, perhaps Texas is pretty good. Other parts of Texas are okay. We got Fredericksburg that has the wine country, Marble Falls, which is the rolling hills. We got West Texas, which is it's kind of like movies of the old West, just flat land. They got tumbleweeds blowing everywhere, a lot of cows and things like that. You could do some hunting if you're into hunting. You can butcher your own cows, things like that. But in Austin, it's terrible. Don't live in Austin. Other parts of Texas, it's pretty good. Everyone moving to Dripping Springs and wanting to change everything about Dripping Springs is not even Dripping Springs anymore. It's like a subculture of Austin. It's like a mini California almost. We don't need all these crazy ass stores. We were doing fine without all these stores. We were living a pretty good life. We had a very simple life. That's the way I describe it. Before everything started blowing up, everything was simple. You could go down to 6th Street and not get shot. You could enjoy all the bars. You didn't have to fight all the traffic. Everything in Austin was pretty good. It was a small town. Like, keep Austin weird was the motto. Austin was pretty good. Everyone kind of knew. You could go to some place and you would see people you knew. Everyone, it was kind of like a community environment. Now it's not that. Now it's just a big city dump. What it is. You got homeless everywhere. You got Austin trying to cater to all these bigger businesses because they want to keep bringing people in. Meanwhile, everyone's getting stuck in these high-rise buildings like they're rats. They're getting stuffed in like they're rats, and they're not going to be able to move, and everyone's shitting on top of each other and breathing on top of each other and all this crazy shit. It's not working. It just doesn't work. I guess my message is move to the outskirts. If you're coming to Austin, move to the outskirts. We just don't change shit. You know what I mean? Change is good. I'm not opposing change whatsoever. We don't want to change to California. That's just all I'm saying. We don't hate California. We don't hate New York. We just don't want to change to that. We have a pretty good thing going here, right? That's why you moved here. That's why you want to come. That's why Texas is so appealing, because there's a lot of good stuff here. You get a little more freedom. The taxes are lower, all that good stuff. But in a roundabout way, you're making things more expensive for the people in Texas. Anyway, that's my rant. See you later.